Yeah, blessing. Good evening. Welcome. Sorry for the delay. I was having some technical challenge, so I couldn't start the training immediately. It was 7 p.m. in Nigeria. So let's just wait for 5 more minutes so that others could join the call. Yeah, I've also taken notes. So because the top three people became a free application review. So whether it's okay, now we are talking about scholarship. So if you're applying for any scholarship, I'll be reviewing your application for you. One of your applications. So we are waiting for extra 4 minutes. Please write your name on the chat box. We are waiting for extra 3 minutes, then we start. Okay, blessing. Okay, thank you. Once it's 10 minutes past 7 in Nigeria time, we are starting. We are starting in the next 1 minute. Okay, so let's start now. Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the delay. I had some technical challenges. Even up till now, my laptop is still giving me some trouble, so I couldn't start immediately. It was time. So today we are going to be sharing tips, step-by-step process on how to secure admission and how to get scholarship for postgraduate studies in the UK. So what I mean by postgraduate studies is both masters and PhD. So I'm going to be sharing the tips from the first step to the last step, what we are going to do to get both the admission and the scholarship. I had some points already, so I'll be giving you guidelines. If you don't have your pen and paper, you can get it now. So the second person that joined, can you write your name on the chat box so I can take notes? Please write your name on the chat box, the person that just joined now. Okay, Obinna, thank you. Give me some few minutes. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Jennifer. I'm the founder and CEO of Team Upcycler. So today I'll be sharing with you the tips on how to secure admission, scholarships, and other funding opportunities for your postgraduate studies in the UK. Today I'll be talking of the UK. So I'm still going to do other videos concerning US, Canada, Australia. So for today, I'll be sharing with you the tips on how to get your admission and scholarship in the UK. So the third person that joined this call, please you can write your name on the chat box. Thank you. So the first step, what's the main reason? Why did you choose UK? That's the first thing. Why UK? Why UK? That's the first question. Why not Canada? Why not Australia? Why not Germany? Why not US? So that's the first question you will ask yourself. What's the reason behind you saying, okay, you want to go to the UK? Like before I started my scholarship application, so though I later applied for so many other schools and so many other countries, but I was, how would I say it? I was very particular about the country I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to the UK to study. I was particular about it. 95% of my friends are in the US. They got their scholarship in the US. But I was stubborn. I don't like US. I don't want to go there. Only reluctantly applied for two stops in the US out of all my applications. So that's the first question you ask yourself. Why did you choose this country? Then you know that Cambridge, Oxford, they are one of the top 5 universities and they are in the UK. So, but then they have some criteria like Cambridge and Oxford. Most of the time, they needed people that have first class before they would even give you admission. You have at least a first class. And there are so many funding, although a lot of funding are in the US. If you have to compare the funding in US to UK, more funding are in the US because you can do your PhD directly from your BSc in the US. You can go directly to PhD. And the PhD in US is 5 years. In your first 2 years, you'll be given a master's degree. Then the remaining 3 years is your PhD. But in the UK, PhD is 3 to 4 years, maximum of 4 years. It's not up to 5 years. Most of them are 3 years. Then you have to do your master's. Though some schools can take you from BSc, but it's not too common. Most of the schools in UK, they want you to do your master's first and then your PhD. Some of them will want you to do master's by research. Even if you have done the ordinary master's, they want you to do master's by research before you transition to PhD. And then some scholarships are shorter in duration. Like some schools give their master's degree like 9 months. Most of the courses in Oxford are 9 months. Then other schools, they have 12 months courses. Some courses are up to 24 months. That is 2 years. And then when you graduate in the UK, you'll be able to do your postgraduate visa. And when you get your postgraduate visa, within the 2 years of your postgraduate visa, you will look for a sponsored job. If you get a sponsored job, then you can remain in the UK after your studies. If you are lucky to get your sponsored job before you finish your studies, that's very okay. Then immediately you are graduating, you are switching to you are using your sponsorship to work instead of postgraduate visa. So how do you choose the right school that you want to go to in the UK? It boils down to your goals, your career ambition. What do you want to become in the future? And then why do you want to, like, depends on what you want to become in the future. That's why that's what will determine the school you are going to select. For example, I like stuff related sustainable development, um SDGs, that is sustainable development goals, issues concerning development of African countries. That's what interests me, and that's why I chose to go to SOAS University of London, because when you check the ranking in the whole world when it comes to development studies, though my course directly is not development studies, my course is economics, but economics is also related to development. That's why we have development economics. So because I'm interested in sustainable development goals, I'm interested in how to achieve them in the global south, I chose this school because my interest lies in development, and this school is ranked top 3 in the world when it comes to development. So you see, when you are choosing a course, when you are choosing a school, let it be a place that aligns with your goals, your future ambition, and your career ambition. You can also check the ranking of the university. Some of these universities, they have, like, their selection, the percentage of people they give admission is small. Like schools like Oxford, Cambridge, maybe out of 100 applicants, it may be just 5% that will end up getting admission. So if you're applying, just be strategic. Yes, you can select a top school and a lower school. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That was the mistake I was making some few years ago. I was focusing on the top 10 schools in the world. I was applying for Cambridge, Stanford, Oxford, but then I was not successful. So if you're applying for this scholarship or admission, you have to be strategic. Apply for top schools and also apply for those in the middle range, as long as the school is offering the course you want. Like the main reason why I did not want to go to the MC Call and MC Ben scholarship in Canada, the main reason why I don't like to apply, because the school, MCQ University, does not offer the course I wanted. The only course I saw there related to what I needed was agricultural economics. I will not say, oh, because I needed a scholarship, then I'll go into agricultural economics. But that's not what interests me. So that was why I don't feel like applying for the scholarship. So the next thing you do is, if you're applying, you have to read the content. First, you have to search for the schools. Like I said, search for the school that aligns with your aspiration. Then when you found the school, check the courses. For example, let me use economics as an example. If you want to apply for economics, then you have to check the the content of the courses. Like there is econometrics, there is microeconomics. Check the content if this is something you can actually do. The modules, everything they teach, go through the lecturers that teach this course, their areas of concentration, their career interests, read everything. Also check the cost of living in that particular location. Should, in case if you do not get a scholarship, if you want to do self-funding, the cost of living matters a lot, so that you will not get stuck when you get there. Then after you've done all this background check, you apply for admission. And when you're applying for admission, what are the things that are needed for admission? What are the things that are needed? First of all, your bachelor's degree, because we're talking of postgraduate scholarship now. For your master's, you need to have your BSc results, then your transcript and your CV. Why I say transcripts is because you need to start now to prepare. Like, I started in January 2022 to prepare for scholarship. I started then, I applied for my transcript. I applied for international passport. It's very important. If you have the plan of going for scholarship or your studies abroad, you have to start now. Apply for your transcript, apply for your international passport. These two things are very important. Even if they give you admission, without these two things, you will not be able to get an unconditional offer. You will just get a conditional offer of admission. Then some schools will ask you for your English language test. So many schools have waived it for Nigerians. So many of the schools in the UK, they waived it for Nigerians. But if the school did not waive it for you, then use your WAEC result in place of that. That's what I used in all the admissions I've been getting, the ones that needed English language test. I submitted my WAEC result. As long as you do not have D, E, or F in your English in your WAEC, so your WAEC can stand as a proof of English. As long as you got from A, B, or C in your in your English, then you are good to go. But if you have the money, the resources, you can write the English language test. But most of the time, you can also write to the school to waive it for you, or you get a certificate that you were taught in English. You get the certificate from your school where you did your BSc. They will write you proof of English letter. Then you use it as proof of English. Then after that, you prepare your statement of purpose. So many schools, some will ask you statement of purpose, some will ask you personal statement, some will ask you motivation letter. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about this the difference between the statement of purpose, personal statement, motivation letter. But most of the schools, they won't ask you for these two things at once. Sorry, these three things at once. It's either your SOP or your personal statement or your motivation letter. That's what the schools will normally ask for. So in this statement of purpose, just keep it short, between 1 to 2 pages. Some of them will tell you, okay, 500 words. But if you are not giving limit of 500 words, let it not be more than 1,000 words, because that's the highest limit I've seen in most of the scholarships. They will tell you 500 words or 1,000 words. So keep it between 1 and 2 pages. Talk about your background, your achievements. These are the things to include in your SOP. Your background, link your background to that course you want to apply, or you can link it up to what you did in your undergraduate and then link it to what you want to do in your postgraduate. Talk about the things you have achieved. If there are some awards you have won, the volunteering, but don't dwell too much on your award because you have it already in your CV. This was one of the mistakes I was making when I started this scholarship applications early. I don't know much about all these things. So what I do then was I'll keep on mentioning so many of my achievements, and I leave the main thing I'm supposed to talk about. These achievements are already in your CV. Even if you are going to include it in your statement of purpose, just add like one or two. Don't talk too much about it. Don't come and dwell on it, because it's like duplication. You are duplicating what you already have in your CV. So that's one of the common mistake people made. I also made that mistake by repeating what I have in my CV, in my essays. This essay is the opportunity to show them why you want to study that course, why you want to study in that university. So you talk about your background, your achievements that are related to that course. That course. Don't come and bring irrelevant things. For example, I want to apply for economics, and then I'm talking about stuff that are related to maybe health or other things that does not concern economics. So that was one thing I learned during this whole process, because I started streamlining my application. And then don't talk about so many things, like the person that is reviewing your application will get lost. Just focus on 1 or 2 things that are related to that course you are applying for. If you have done so many things, keep the irrelevant ones besides, keep it aside. Then I also emphasize on using STAR method. I said it in my previous essay. Sorry, my previous training. I talked about STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Apply that method also when you are writing your SOP. If you still have question on that, you can send me a DM. I will talk about the STAR method. Then talk about your future goals. What do you intend to achieve through these studies? What's your plan for the future? You can break your future goals into um short term, medium term, and long term goals. You can break it down into these 3 categories. Then why did you choose this university? Like I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, why did you choose to study in UK? Then why that university? Already you have done your research about the university, about the course, about everything, both the lecturers, the modules, everything. You have done your research already. Now it's time for you to show them why you chose this university. Why is it best fit for you? You include it in your SOP. If there is a lecturer or in the university, in your department, that maybe you like what the person is working on, you want to like to work on this particular project, this is the time to include it in your write-up. Show them why you chose the school, and keep it original. Don't do don't copy and paste from ChatGPT. You just went to ChatGPT and give ChatGPT the topic. Write me a statement of purpose for my MSc in economics at SOAS. You just put it. ChatGPT will give you the same thing it gave to another person. I've tested that ChatGPT with one of my friend. We wanted to apply for something. We said, okay, let us use ChatGPT. Let's see what will be the result. We copied the question and put in ChatGPT. We are in two different locations, and ChatGPT gave us the same thing, and I showed it to him. So we started laughing. So that's why some people get caught. I saw a reply from a code email that someone sent to a professor. The professor told the person, you got an A in using ChatGPT, but you got F9 because you don't understand what ChatGPT gave you. ChatGPT gave you something, you carry it like that and paste. That's why you will not get the admission. So make it personal. When someone is reading your essay and this story is related to you, is your personal story, the person will know. If it is something you get from ChatGPT, the person will know. That's just the truth. If I'm reading any essay, I see the one that is ChatGPT, I know this is ChatGPT. If I see a human written essay, I know this is human written. I don't need to test it in any AI to know. Then in your CV, what are the things in your CV? Do you know that your CV can make you to lose opportunities, even scholarships? What do you have in your CV? I'm seeing a lot of CV that people use, like maybe for job application, and then you are still using the same CV for your master's degree or your PhD. I mean, I don't get it. You have to make sure that you construct your academic CV. If there are some trainings you have already taken, include it there. If you don't know how to write an academic CV, I will do a video on that to show you how to write an academic CV. Don't use your job CV for your scholarship application or your admissions. Then some schools will ask you for recommendation letter. Make sure you are in good terms. If you are still in the university now, make sure you are in good terms with your lecturers. Some of you are not in good terms with your lecturers, and when it is time for you to apply for stuff, to be running up and down looking for recommendation, because you are not in good terms with your lecturers, or some of you don't even have the contact of your lecturers. That's not like they are lecturers, so they should be like a friend and a guide to us. So we need to be close with them. In issues like this, recommendation letter, you don't need to worry. Like me personally, I know that recommendation letter has never been a problem for me. I know people that even if it is a deadline that I started applying now and it is closing in the next few minutes, I know people I will call and they will give me the recommendation letter before it closes. Sometimes I used to pity my lecturers. Like someone saw my post on LinkedIn, the all the rejections I got, and the person was asking me, how about those people that were writing you all this recommendation? It's because I already had a good relationship with them. That's why I can wake somebody up. The one that I pitied my priest that day because I had to wake him up in the night. That was 11 p.m. in the UK, which is 12 a.m. in Nigeria. I had to wake him up that time. I told him this thing is closing in the next 30 minutes and I needed a recommendation. The person I put before was not able to meet up because of some activities. And he was sleeping already, but he has to do it because of the relationship we had already. We are close. So you have to keep good relationship with people. In situations like this, the person cannot tell you no. The person will not have any option than to do it for you. And what are the things that should be in the recommendation letter? If you're telling somebody to write recommendation letter for you, make sure you give the person details about yourself. If this is someone you have not been very close with, give the person details about yourself, about you can give the person your CV, your SOP for that school, everything you wrote about the school. From there, the person will be able to draft you a compelling recommendation letter. Recommendation letter are scored. If you get lower mark in your recommendation, it means that it's a bad sign. Do you understand? Then you can get from your lecturers, you can get from your workplace, from anywhere, depending on not your family and friends now. It can be professional or academic, professional from your work, academic from your lecturers. Then I talked about the transcript and the certificates and the English language test. I've already talked about it. Then some schools charge application fee. What do you do in this situation? You apply for application fee waiver. That is if you don't have the money to pay for the application fee. For all the applications I've made, if I'm to count it, I know what I posted in LinkedIn did not capture the whole numbers because at some point I started remembering the stuffs I did not post. I've applied for more than 45 or 50 scholarships. Now, how do you do the application fee? If I had to pay application fee for all these things, that means it will be running in millions. I've never paid the application fee, not even once in my life. I've never paid application fee. Never. And I said I'm not going to pay it because I know that I'm qualified for an application fee waiver. What do I include in my request for application fee waiver? I include my bank details, my bank statements for 3 months or more than 3 months. I include it there. I include description about my family background, my situation, and all the people that are dependent on me. And then they will see the evidence in my bank statement, how the money is being disbursed, and what is left. After putting all this evidence, they will not have any choice than to give me an application fee waiver. That was how I got application fee waiver when I applied to Imperial College, when I applied to London School of Economics, the one of Cambridge. I think it was for the Mastercard. So the application fee was waived. Then the one of Stanford, because I'm a member of Education USA, my application fee was waived. I got the waiver form, and the director of the programs filled it for me, and I got application fee waiver. So look for a way to get application fee waiver. But if you have the money, pay for the application fee. I'm not encouraging you not to pay, but for those of us that don't have the money to pay, make sure you have evidence to back up your claims. Put your bank statement, everything. When they see that you don't have the money, they'll waive it for you. So some schools have interviews. Some schools have interviews. So you need to prepare for interviews if your course have an interview. The reason why I did not get Mastercard last year and Erasmus Mundus and the other program again, that one was in 2023. It was interview. I made it to final stage. That means my essays, my application was good enough for me to make it to interview. It means that your documents, your essays, your SOPs, your CV, everything is good, is perfect. I got to interview. I did what I felt like this is my best, but I think my best was not good enough, or maybe it was not God's plan for me to go to these places. So I was placed in wait list in Erasmus, Mastercard. I was rejected. Then the other scholarship in Spain, I was given second position. They needed just one person in Africa, so I took second, and they gave me a 50% scholarship. I rejected the offer. So prepare properly for your interviews. If you have interview, those of you applying for Erasmus, you may have a lot of interviews depending on how many Erasmus you're applying for. Some schools, if you're applying for Mastercard in Edinburgh, you have an interview. I don't know about the one in Cambridge, whether they do interview or not. So what are the things you include in your interviews? What are the things you need to prepare for? Why do you want to study this course? Why did you choose the university? What are your future career plans? Then all the things in your CV, just study it very well. When I did my interview for Erasmus, I was taken unawares. That was the hardest interview I've ever had in my life. I was taken unawares to the point that I think my interview was, there were like 3 or 4, to the point that no, Erasmus placed me on a wait list. Wait list means that you are qualified to get it, but then they do ranking. So I was not among the top 15. They picked only 15 people. So I was not among the top 15. But I was already among those selected. That means if anybody drop out from the people they picked, then I may be picked to replace. That's how Erasmus works. So the Erasmus, why I say they took me unawares for my interviews, that I had so many things in my CV. My CV is like 7 pages. That was when I reduced it. I removed some things. That was why it was 7 pages. At a point, it was up to 10 pages. So these people asked me about my undergraduate project that I attached the link to my CV. I never thought about it, like undergraduate that I finished in 2018. And they're asking me the methodology that I use for the project. So many questions about the project. Why did I conduct that study? What are the methodologies that I use? What are the results that I got? Thank God I did it by myself. It's not like I got someone to do it for me. So I was able to answer some things, but I told them, this is like 6 years. I can't recall everything, but then I gave some responses as well. Then Another question they asked me, I have two publications in agriculture, that is climate change and agriculture, renewable energy and climate change. And they asked me I should talk about one of these publications. I should give them details, everything about it. Why did I conduct the study? Why did I do the publication? What are the results? Everything. I picked the one of renewable energy and climate change. I talked about it. I thank God this is what I do. This is already part of me. So I was able to talk about it. But then, assuming I got maybe some people that pay people to do some stuff for them, and then you come across this kind of question, you will not be able to answer it. I'm just giving you some tips to, if you are preparing for interview, just make sure everything in your CV you can account for it. Anyone they taught you explain, you will be able to explain it. So then, scholarships. What are the scholarships in the UK? We have Chevening scholarship. We have the Commonwealth, Gate, Cambridge, Great Scholarship. So a lot of scholarships are in the UK. A lot of them. Just that it's very competitive. It's very competitive. So if you are planning to get scholarship, you need to start now to prepare. Start now to develop yourself. Do a lot of leadership stuff, do volunteering, do so many community service, do it and include all these things in your CV. Because like Chevening, they are looking for people that are leaders in the leadership sector, and most times they pick more of the people that have worked in the government sectors or other development areas. Even the World Bank scholarship, they are picking people that have been in the public service for a while. So you have to, if you have not gotten a public job like all this government job, anyone you are doing, just make sure you are the best at what you do. That is what we call being a thought leader. So be a thought leader in that sector. Like, I'm interested in climate and I'm making sure that anything concerning climate, I'll do my best so that I'll get to a point whereby if they are saying the top 5 persons in the world when it comes to climate, at least my name will be mentioned. Okay. Aldo is asking, how can one join Education USA? The application is normally opened towards the middle of the year. They'll open the application this year. So when I applied for it, I applied in 2022 and I was shortlisted. But what they do is based on the grade. They'll pick the top 10 people that they'll pay your application fee, your flight ticket, everything. When you get a scholarship, they'll guide you through until you get a scholarship and they'll pay everything for you. Because the scholarships in the USA, they don't pay your flight and visa, most of them. So what Education USA does is that they will help you to pay for the ones that needed application fee. Then for your flight, for your visa, they will help you to pay these things. They will guide you through to apply for schools. That's for the top 10 persons. Then if you did not make it to top 10, if you did not make it to top 10, if your CV is a strong 2-1 or first class, then they will select those that have high CGPA and they will add you all to the group. So in that group, we share opportunities there, post trainings, opportunities of scholarships, so many things. And then if you're applying for some schools that needed application fee waiver, if you're a member of the Education USA, you can talk to the admin and they can write you a letter and you get application fee waiver. That was how I got my application fee waiver for Stanford. Okay, someone is saying regarding the CV, you said had 7 pages, but for some Erasmus program requested for 2 pages. If they request for 2 pages, reduce it to 2 pages. I have 1 page CV, I have 2 page CV, depending on the one you ask me for. I have 3 page CV. If you tell me to give you CV of 1 page, I will give you CV of 1 page. If you want the one of 2 page, I will give you the one of 2 page. But that one that is up to 7 pages is the detailed CV. So one thing I did is that I have my biography where I wrote down everything I've done, all my projects, all my award, the publications, and all the places my name have been published on magazines, newspapers, other organizations, all the award I've been winning, they do publish my details, my name. So I have the links to all those publications, all those press release concerning myself, everything and all the award I've won, all of them are in my biography. So for my 1 page CV, I give you the most important things, my most two recent my two most recent job. I wrote it down there. I wrote down some of my certifications, not all of them. I wrote down some of my volunteering stuffs and some of my soft skills and other things. After that, I then attached the link to my biography. I write it there for you to find out more details about my works. Then you go to my biography. I attached the link to my project there. I included some of my awards. That's how I did it. So if you now go to the biography, if you follow the link to the biography is like, I think it's up to 16 pages or so. Then you will see all the details there. So it's still like everything is still covered in that one page because I added external link there that you can follow to see the remaining stuffs. Even my LinkedIn profile. So how do you position your LinkedIn profile? I started building my LinkedIn profile intentionally in 2023. Initially, I was thinking that, oh, posting something in LinkedIn is being proud. That was what I was thinking. But then one of my friends told me this thing is not about being proud. It's about you showing what you do. And if you notice, so many grants, fellowship, scholarships, they will ask you for your LinkedIn profile. Why not Facebook? Why not Instagram? I mean, why LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is professional. I just started posting on my other social media handles recently because I feel like, okay, I want to just publicize what I'm doing in all other handles. But initially, where I post was just on LinkedIn. I post everything I'm doing, my projects, my achievements. So even without looking at my CV, even if it's just one page CV that I attach, if I put my LinkedIn profile there, you go to my LinkedIn, you will see every other thing I've done in the LinkedIn. Do you understand? So make sure your LinkedIn is also like your CV. Build your LinkedIn very well. Anything you do, put it there. You're not boasting. Even if you attend training, put it there. Put what you learned. Put everything down. Start building your LinkedIn. Be intentional about it. It's very important. Then there are other external scholarships as well, like the service scale scholarship. Depends on the school. When you check the school, there are some external scholarship that give you funding as long as you're a student and in any university of your choice. Like I talked about the Don Lavoie fellowship initially. If you are seeking master's degree or you are a master's student already, you want to do PhD, that's Don Lavoie, the MacArthur Center at George Mason University. They have so many other funding opportunities, not only the Don Lavoie fellowship. Maybe I'll be making another video for that. They have so many other opportunities, the ones that can give you $5,000, the ones that can give you $7,000 plus international trips, $2,000. So many of them that you can apply for if you're already a master's student or you're trying to do your PhD. There are so many of the funding, external funding you can get to support your studies. Okay, I've already talked about, okay, what are the common mistakes that people make when you are applying for stuff? So what are the common mistakes? First, you did not check eligibility. This was one of the mistakes I was making then. And when I corrected this mistake, I started getting interviews. Initially, I did economics. I'll use my economics BSc to apply for PhD in earth science. I mean, who does that? When I was so stubborn about the course, I said it either I do earth science, environmental science, or climate change. I'm not doing economics again. I'm done with economics. That was what I said then. I was very stubborn about it. For 2 years, I keep applying for the wrong choice of course. I keep applying wrongly. Applying for courses in pure science when I did a social science course. It's easier for someone that did pure science to switch to social science. Assuming my BSc is pure science, it will be easier for me to switch to social science or art. But if you did social science or art, it will be very difficult to switch to science. It was when I applied for that Erasmus that I found out in their criteria, they said that they mention some specific courses you must have done. If they don't see that courses in your transcript that you have done these courses, they will not take you. That was when I knew, oh, this is the reason why I've been getting rejections. More than 40 rejections, like 42 rejections, because I was applying for the wrong course. They will just check everything I wrote, everything is perfect. When they go through my transcript, they will see that I did not take any of those prerequisite courses. I will just get a rejection. So don't make the same mistake. For any course you want to apply, check what are the courses they want you to have done previously. Check it, make sure that you have done those courses. like that Erasmus own, they mentioned econometrics, they mentioned microeconomics, they mentioned how many units you must have done in those courses. So I've done all these things. They even asked for proof of address. And lucky for me, I have my business registration document for team upside class, and it has my name and my address. I had to put it there. They said the address must not be more than 1 year old. And that time I just registered the organization. It's not up to 6 months. I used it as proof of address. Proof of English, I use my WAEC result. Everything, my transcript contains those courses they want me to have done. And then that was how I got to what I got to interview stage. But you see, other courses I've been putting the wrong thing. Manaki New Zealand scholarship, they needed people from Pacific and Asia. Me, I'm from Global South. I went and applied. I did not read the requirement. Even if I read it, I don't know why I applied. They did not even give me any feedback because I applied for something I was not eligible for. So you need to check eligibility, check the requirement. What do they expect that you have done, or you have these courses in your transcript? Check all these things, or the locations. Like if they needed people that are in Africa, are you in Africa? These are the things that matters. So check everything, check everything. The next thing that makes you to get rejected is submitting a weak personal statement or statement of purpose or motivation letter. You need to dedicate time to this thing. Oh. You need to dedicate time. Don't come and write it shabby and submit. Bring out time, do all your research. Like I said, check the school, check the courses, check the lecturers, check if there are research institute attached to the university, check what makes this university different from others, check the ranking of that university, the ranking of the course you want to do in that university. These are the things you need to check. So they will help you. All these ideas, when you gather all of them, you'll be able to write a strong personal statement. And make sure you start with a problem statement. What's the problem you want to solve through that your studies? Make sure you use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Then if there are interviews, prepare for interview. I talked about my experience with the Erasmus interview. So prepare for your interview very well. Read everything in your CV. Don't be like me. Oh. I was preparing for my Erasmus interview. I was reading only what I have in my um SOP. I did not read what I have in my CV. And I was taking unawares. They asked me about my undergraduate project that I finished 6 years ago, and the methodology and the reason why I conducted the research. Then for chevening, if you don't have leadership experience, your chances for getting it is low. You need to develop leadership experience. For the one of World Bank, you must have worked in the development sector with a government body or all these UN organizations, not private. That's what they needed, government related work. Then don't wait till last minute. In fact, this last minute thing has dealt with me. I missed a scholarship. I know that I'll be able to get this thing. I missed it because of deadline. I was applying on the day it was closing. That thing has dealt with me. I've missed several applications because of that. Even after I've written all the things they required. When you're submitting last minute, the website will begin to hang. All their village people will come. Nothing will work again. Like I remember that day, and that was okay. Then I was in Dubai then, and that was when there is a heavy rainfall in Dubai. The airport was flooded. There was no network, and that was the day that thing was closing. I was trying to submit it. I couldn't submit it. I tried all my best. I even asked people around to connect Wi-Fi for me. They connected. It did not work. Everything I did that day was in vain. I emailed them. They told me that even if they will consider people that submitted early. That I shouldn't have waited till closing time. And it's because of I'm already used to submitting things late application. That was what happened to me. The one of Australia, I was doing my late application and I missed the deadline. I didn't know Australia time is like 8 hours different from Nigeria time. I was still using Nigeria time to calculate when Australia has entered the next day. That was how I missed it. So don't do late hour submission like me. Don't be like me. I'm trying to change, so don't be like me. Also try to make friends with people that have gotten the scholarship. That was one thing that helped me also. There are some scholarship I want to apply for. I'll go to LinkedIn, look for the people that have gotten that scholarship in the previous year, I will talk to them. Some of them offered to give me their personal statement. Then I used it to develop my own. So make sure you get contact with people that have gotten. In fact, if you want to get something, start now to prepare for it. Start now to prepare for it. Let it not take you unawares. Start gathering the resources you need. Look for past winners. Ask them questions so that you know what to do. You don't do the wrong thing. Then after that, you get your confirmation of acceptance. Then you apply for your visa. And then that's all. Any question? If you have a question, I'm listening. Or comments. If you like the session, let me see your chat. Show me some emoji that you enjoyed the session. No question or comment, so I have to end the session. Yeah. I'm seeing everything. Those of you, the top three, please, can you come to my DM? Send me a DM. The first three people to join the call, send me a DM. And you'll be getting free application review for one scholarship of your choice. This one is for scholarship. Okay. Wisdom asked, what about the CGPA calculation? Your CGPA will be written in your transcript. It will be written in your transcript. Unless you don't have your transcript yet. Some schools are using the 5.0, some schools are using the 4.0. For some schools in the US, they will tell you to do West evaluation. West evaluation. Like, and after that, it will convert to a 4.0 scale. One thing about the 4.0 scale is that if you have a lower GP, when you convert it, like if it was on a 5.0 scale and it was a lower GP, when you convert it to 4.0, it's going to be higher. Like my CGPA was 4.48 on a 5.0 scale. When I converted it to a 4.0 scale, it was now 3 points, I think 3.50 something or 3.60 something, which is a first class. That's on a 4.0 scale is a first class. But on a 5.0 scale, it's no longer up to first class because it's not up to 4.50, it's 4.48. So any other comments or question? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all for joining. I'll do thank you. How do we go about that? So what are you asking me, Wisdom? What did you say? How do you go about? Hey, Chiamaka, you're welcome. Femi, you're welcome. Oh, from India. Wow. Shu. I cannot pronounce your name. My friend from India, thank you for joining. Wisdom, please, I didn't get your question. What did you ask me? How can you go about? Shubhangi. Is it Shubhangi? Okay, the conversion. Depends if this ask you to do a West evaluation, then you do it. You just go online how to convert 4.0, 5.0 to 4.0. You'll see it online. But most of the schools in the UK, they don't need the West evaluation. Just give them your transcript the way it is. Yeah, Femi, thank you. Okay, Shubangi, I'm correct. Okay. Nice to meet you. So if you have not subscribe. In fact, as you're watching this, you can subscribe. Please subscribe. I noticed that majority of the people that watch my video have not subscribed to this channel. Subscribe so you can stay updated. Remember, we post updates on both scholarships, grants, fully funded trips, and then we do some sustainability project. The sustainability stuff is related to my organization, so we also post some of our projects. Just subscribe so you get updates for your scholarships, and then join the WhatsApp group, subscribe to the Telegram channel, and follow us on Instagram. If you have any question, you can send me a DM. Then those of you that are in the WhatsApp group, we do ask question, what are the topics you want us to cover? This topic I'm covering now is from the suggestion that someone made from in the WhatsApp group. The one we covered last is also from the suggestion we got in the WhatsApp group. So our next training will be talking about grants. In the next training, that's next week, we'll be talking about grants by the grace of God. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all in the WhatsApp group. Bye.